Hello, hello, and welcome to the Color Whisperer Show. Today is going to be a little different. Yeah, we never do that, right? Today is a PSA. It's a public service announcement because there's been some things happening out in the world and in my life, and it just breaks my heart because it's not necessary. So, first of all, today is going to be about a healing show. I am not a doctor. I do not profess to be a doctor. I cannot guarantee anything that I have to say is going to cure you of anything. On the other hand, I have 25 years of experience in this area and personal experience in this, and I will explain all that in a minute. So, we're going to talk about breast health today. Shannon Doherty died this week. She's been battling breast cancer for a while, so shock isn't the right word, but it was sad. I grew up watching her. Little House on the Prairie, 90210, Charmed. She's really had quite a prolific career, and I kind of grew up with her. And it just made it hit home a little bit. I have two friends that in the last month have told me they have breast cancer. In both cases, it is stage 1, so that's a good thing. And we're going to talk about cancer and why does it come up in the body. There's a few different reasons. Number one is stress. Even the doctors will say it's stress. They won't go into some of the stuff I'm going to go into, but they'll be the first ones to tell you that it's stress. And what happens when stress gets caught in our body is it stays there and it creates pain. So when you have a pain somewhere, we're taught go to the doctor, take a pill, and make the pain go away. But that's really not what it is. That pain is a cry for help and saying, oh, we need to go look at something. So I know I've told the story on here before, but I'll tell it because it's great in this context. So when I was in my 20s, my early 20s, I got asthma. Now, before that, I always had bronchitis. I used to joke that the doctor could just, oh, it's Jeanette. I can write the prescription. I don't need to even see her because it was bronchitis. And in fact, I was at it was a school. It was a month-long school. But anyway, I was away from town for a month and I got bronchitis. And I went to the pharmacist and I said, look, I know what's wrong with me. I'm in a strange town. I don't know anybody. I don't know how to go find a doctor here. I'm in school all the time. It was a 8 to 5 school thing. Where am I going to find a doctor? So I called him. I said, can you call my pharmacist? Pharmacist knew us. And I said, is there any way you can get me, I always get this. I always get this. I don't know who pulled what miracle, but I got the drugs and I got better. But in my 20s, it turned to asthma. I couldn't breathe. And the doctors gave me these pills, gave me nosebleeds, ended up in the emergency room with a nosebleed I couldn't stop. And this was in the day of AIDS. Nobody was afraid to touch, they were afraid to touch my nose because I have these big firemen come in and nobody would hold my nose. That's what I needed. And I'm like, I just didn't have any muscles anymore to do it. But I didn't have muscles. I was too weak because I lost too much blood. I couldn't do it. So anyway, and then they give me these pills that made me want to run a marathon. I've never wanted to run a marathon in my life. And so I was just like, there has to be another way. This is before internet was big. There was a little bit of internet, but it wasn't like what we have now. And I said, there has to be another way. And I kept asking, there's another way, there's another way, there's another way. God showed me another way. And through a stroke of luck, my dad happened upon this man who was a metaphysical healer. And he says, my daughter has asthma. Can you help her? And he goes, oh, yeah, piece of cake. It was for him anyway. So we had, oh, my hair is driving me nuts. Sorry. So I went to this man, and my mom said, well, what he does is a little weird. At that point, like, I was going to breathe again. Like, what would you pay to be able to breathe again? What would you do to be able to breathe again? Like, I was fine going out of my comfort zone if it meant I was going to breathe again. He did take me out of my comfort zone, but that's okay. I got to breathe again. So what he explained to me was how these emotions get trapped in our bodies. My father died when I was a year old. And at a year old, you don't know how to grieve properly. The brain just doesn't have all the wires in place to do that yet. And so this grief got stuck in my lungs. That's the emotion for the lungs, is grief. And it made sense. It made so much sense. I'm like, okay, I wasn't able to grieve this. And what he was able to do, he showed me this little box of a cage, and he put a ball in. He said, this is your grief. And we're going to open the cage. And that's what he did. 3 days later, I started sobbing. Like, I'd never cried in my life, not before or since. It's 25 years of grief locked in my body that did not know how to come out. I could have talked about it forever. It would not have come out. I didn't know how to let it. And because it was all I'd known, all I knew in my memory, I was a year old. I didn't know what life was like without that grief as part of my body. So how could my body even know how to fix it? So I was able to release that grief. I sobbed. And I have not had an asthma attack since. Now my lungs, they're still a sensitive part of me. COVID was not fun. I can't breathe in a mask. And it is my stress place. When I get stressed, that's one of the places it goes, is I can't breathe. So it opened up this whole new world to me of, where does emotions get trapped in our bodies? Now, a lot of people have heard of Louise Hayes, and she's got the book, and they go check it out. Okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? And it's very helpful. And when he gave me this, I don't know if you can see that. Pretty dang cool. So all of these numbers over here, there we go. All of these numbers, all of these arrows lead to emotions in the body. Now, cancer comes about because we're not taking care of something. So we're not detoxifying things in our body. It can come from parasites. It can come from just too much toxicity in our body. But it also comes from not dealing with those emotions. And so wherever you have cancer, we look up, what's the emotion? What's the emotion? And that's what it is. My father died from throat cancer. There was something he wasn't speaking. It's all about your voice, making your voice heard, making your voice known. I was a year old. I don't know what it was. But that's my point, is wherever you have cancer, there is an emotion attached to it. So we're going to talk a little bit about breast cancer. And with breast cancer, women are nurturers. It's innately who we are. That's what we're supposed to do. And where do we nurture the most is from our breast. We feed our babies when they're born. This is where we do a lot of nurturing from. So where do we hold our stress? Right here. We hold our stress in our breasts. You want to know what the emotions are? That's where it gets fun. Okay, so I always get mixed up on which one's right and which one's left. Okay, so the right one, the side, is the liver. Where's your liver? It's right underneath your breast. And the word there is distressed. Oh, women, we never get distressed, do we? ever. Now, this can be from a lot of things. It can be from money, it can be from family relationships, it can be from the relationship with your partner, it can be over stuff going on in the world. Maybe you're distressed as Shannon Doherty died. There's all kinds of reasons we get distressed. And it's a rather common word, isn't it? That why we get distressed. And so this is where it gets held, is right there in the right breast. The left breast is the stomach. Okay, let me go back a second. So the right breast is the liver. That's all about detoxification. How do we get this stuff out of our body? So if you're not getting that stress, if you're not de-stressing your body and getting that stress out of your body, it's going to cause problems with your liver. I did have to have my gallbladder out when I was I learned this lesson the hard way. I had to have my gallbladder out when I was 30 because there was some stuff going on in my family life that was very, very distressing. And I was kind of the black sheep and nobody wanted to listen to me. And you're crazy, Jeanette. I'm not crazy. But it created a great deal of stress on me and my body. And result was I had to get my gallbladder out. So I learned the lesson the hard way. Don't do that no more. There's a lot of ways you can de-stress. Exercise is a great one. Now, there's some really awesome Tai Chi exercises that you can do to help detoxify the liver. So one way, and I just learned this one, and I've started doing it the last couple of days. I really like it. It's so simple. Remember how to do the chicken dance? It's like this, right? You do that like 50 times, 6 times a day. But what does it do? So what it does is it goes along the meridians for the liver. It's hitting the liver. It helps detoxify it. But what is it also doing? You've got lymph nodes here underneath your arm. And it's moving those. That's another reason why people get breast cancer is those lymph nodes get clogged up and they can't do their thing. So we're going to talk about a couple different ways. Oh no, we have got to go back. Sorry. This is really a passionate thing for me. So I apologize. I'm trying to keep it on target, but there's so many layers. So the other side is the stomach. And the word there is unreliable. And there's a lot of things that can be unreliable. It can be, maybe it's money. Work is unreliable. Maybe it's your husband or your partner is unreliable. Maybe, sometimes it can even be you're the one that's unreliable. You ever been mad at yourself for not keeping boundaries? I had that a couple weeks ago. I was so mad at myself because I didn't keep my own boundaries. I was trying to be nice and it backfired on me. So sometimes we can even be the unreliable one. But think about it more. So the stomach, what does the stomach do? It digests things. And we even have a phrase, I can't stomach that. Politics, pick a politician, I don't care. I can't stomach them. I can't digest what they're putting out there. I can't stomach this person in my life anymore. Because while the stomach is really good at pulling away all the icky stuff, you've got the stomach acids going away and killing germs and stuff. There's a point where the stomach says, wait, I'm done. Can't do this. You can't just keep pouring toxins in and pouring toxins in and pouring toxins in and expecting the stomach to just handle everything. There's this responsibility that comes with how many toxins we expect our body to take. So that's where the phrase comes, I can't stomach this. So what do? Can you pull away from that person? Can you stop watching the news? Can you, find some parameters where this is possible? Because if you can't, and what do they say? Our gut is our second brain. That's a place that we manifest from. That's a place that tells us what's right and wrong. And if it's not working, we lose that discernment. All right, so I'm going to do one more. So the milk ducts, we'll get into this, how to fix these in a little bit. But the milk ducts, now this one's a tough one to get at because it's inside of the breast. And the word there is misunderstood. So have you ever been mansplained to? You ever been misunderstood? Yeah, happens. Happens a lot. So this is where we hold it. And if you're not taking those steps to become not misunderstood, to create the boundaries for your stomach, to detoxify your body, it leaves you open for illness. So what are we going to do? All right. So first and foremost, this one's super easy. No more underwires. When I was 30, my breasts hurt so bad that I could not hug anybody. I was at work and, if somebody got too close to me, it would hurt. If somebody, bumped me, it would hurt. I could not wear a bra. I had to wear it's kind of a sports bra, but not so tight. More like what we call a bralette today. And I remember my boss went in one time to give me a little hug, and I'm like, oh, you can't touch me. It was very professional, but anyway, it was just like, and I'm like, you can't do that today. He's like, why? I said, because I hurt, and that's going to put me in a lot of pain. And this guy that cured my asthma, I went back to him, and he'd been doing this stuff for a very long time. And part of how he got into it is they had a bra store. So they got to see a lot of people go through mastectomies and stuff like that, and saw the pain that was there. But the first thing you got to do is get rid of the underwires. Because what happens? We've got chi in our body, energy in our body. And what's it supposed to do? It's supposed to go up and move around and go through the whole body. Well, what happens with the underwire is it's metal. So the chi comes up, it hits the metal. And it's not just metal. It's like digging in your body metal, right? It's really close. It's not like wearing a belt. It's very close to the skin, and it digs into some parts of the skin. And so it goes up to the metal, and that metal tells it to stop, and it goes back down. So this whole area from where the underwire is up is not getting that chi flow. Now, on top of that, one of the biggest ways that your body detoxifies is through the lymphatic system. Where's the lymphatic system? A good chunk of it is from that underwire up. So you've got to hit here, underneath your arms. And that's another really good way to help move the lymph. You want to keep that lymph going. If you know anybody who's had breast cancer, what's the first thing they say? It's the lymph nodes. They always have to take the lymph nodes. So if you do these things to help stimulate the lymph nodes, first of all, you're going to feel happier. You're going to, there's a lot of benefits to having the lymph nodes working. Everything from weight loss to just feeling better altogether. And it helps clear your skin. Just does so many, many, many things. I'm not a lymph expert, but you go look that up, what good lymph nodes does, and it's amazing. So, number one, get rid of the underwires. Number two is lymphatic massage. You want to get those lymph nodes moving, okay? Here, underneath the armpit. Get those lymph nodes moving. There's a couple more. You can do around your knees. There's several along the body. It takes 5 minutes a day. Just all you gotta do is tap. get those lymphs moving. Another really great thing is using a rebounder. Just jump 10 minutes a day. They also have these vibration plates, and you stand on them, and it's supposed to be like the same as walking for half an hour. But you stand on that, and that does a lot of the same thing for the lymph nodes. It's going to get those lymph nodes moving, and that creates better health all over the place. Now, like I said, I had really sore breasts in my 30s, and that is definitely a place that I get hit. So the lungs, they're not so bad. That's for big stuff, but my breasts, that's where I get hit. So I call it happy breasts. When they're mad, when they're sad, they tell me. What do we do to get rid of it? Because it's not fun. And then what happens? Oh, you're feeling around. You're like, oh my gosh, I've got a lump. And then you get scared. Oh my God, I've got breast cancer. Okay, not necessarily. And jumping into that fear, that the stress on your body is going to be stressful. I know a lot of big-chested women, their breasts get very dense, and they have to go in, and then they say, oh, well, we need to come do another test. And the way the medical profession handles it is they say, well, we found something, we need you to come back in. Well, that's going to put a lot of people through a lot of stress. And it happened to me once, and I wasn't too worried about it because I have another friend who has to go through this every year. She's bigger than I am, and she has to go through this every year. And she finally is like, why are we doing this? Why can't you just do the test we know is going to work? Every year it came out, she had nothing. By the way, if you're worried you're too big, I'm double D. There's so many bras out there now that you don't have to have underwire for. They still give you support. They still give you everything. You know, I'm 55. They're not as perky as they used to be, but they're not at my knees either. So, you know, you've got to, there's exercises you can do to help that. Remember, Margaret? Or either goes me, Margaret, we must. Oh, goodness. Anyway, there are exercises that can help with perkiness, but they also, what is the remolest? Where is it hitting? Look, it's hitting all these lymph nodes, right? So we want to keep this whole area moving, keeping the lymph nodes moving, keeping all those good detoxification things moving. So this is something I've just recently learned. I've been learning Tai Chi, and it's fascinating to me. And it's energy and exercise, like, and it's not like let's go run 1,000,000 miles exercise. That doesn't work for me. So this is one I just learned, and we all know how to do the chicken dance. So you just do that 50 times. But what's it doing? It's hitting those lymph nodes. It's detoxifying the liver, and it just, you know, it's kind of fun. It makes you feel funny, so you laugh. So it's got all these wonderful properties. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing is we got to look at what's causing the distress. What's unreliable in your life? How do we change it? Now, I do energy work, and we can muscle test to see what's going on with this. For instance, when I went in for my asthma, he muscle tested, and he's like, okay, well, what age did this start from? Because it's not necessarily something that just happened. If it's stuck there, it could be, you know, I knew about my father dying, obviously, but I didn't physically have any, you know, I don't really have memories of it. I know because family have told me, but I don't remember him. And so we went through, you know, what age was it? What was going on? And we can muscle test to see what it is that was the root cause of this pain. And once you do that, then you can make it go away. So that's another way. If there is something distressing you, you know, a lot of women, I think we're all guilty of this. Oh, we'll just, we don't always speak up, you know. we're taught to be quiet, right? So how can we fix these things? That's a big one. The next one, and this is a technique that I was taught by this guy that cured my asthma. And when my breast hurt so bad that I could not be hugged, this is what he did, and this is what he taught me to do. So it's basically breast massage. Now, if you go into a massage parlor, they won't do it. It's against the law. It is actually against the law here. I understand why, they're worried about prostitution, crossing the line. If you go to India and you get an Ayurvedic massage, they spend a lot of time on the breast because, first of all, the breast is a muscle. It's a muscle. And it gets sore just like every other muscle. And it's where we store so much. So the Ayurvedic massage understands that this is a place where we store a lot of pain and they want to try to get it out. And so one of the things you can do when they're really sore, I recommend massage. And you can self-massage. You've got a partner. Partners love me when I say this. Every night, massage. It's good for your health. But when they're really sore, this is what you want to do. So you want to look at, let's see, okay, so you want to make sure, there we go. So you want to make sure you get up in here because sometimes this area gets really sore, right? But you want to start with the breast. If this is your breast, you're going to go around, you know how like you do a self-mammogram, okay? Go around, you're feeling for those bumps and fibrosity. And then what do they tell you? Oh, go see a doctor. Okay, well, we're going to take it a step further. So first of all, I want you to try this. Rub your hands together so you can feel them tingly and warm. And close your eyes. I want you to pull your hands apart. It's going to feel like a magnet that's pulling them together, even though you're pulling them apart. And then keep pulling until you feel that magnet let go. Now, I do this a lot. So my magnet's pretty strong. I'm pretty sensitive. Most people probably go about this far. Some people, you might go, 2 or 3 feet. You might even go to the width of your arms. But most people, the first time they do it, they might be around here. You might even be here, and that's okay. I just want you to feel where that magnet lets go. That's what you're going to be looking for when you do this. So this is my lungs. I usually show people if I'm doing this in person because my lungs they're a little tender, but you can, if you touch that area, you'll feel like a little soreness. And then you just feed it unconditional love until that magnet breaks. Now, if you have somebody that can do this for you, great. That's the best. Because what we're doing is essentially recharging the battery. So if your battery breaks down somewhere, what do? You need to have somebody jump you, right? So what we're doing is on the breast, you use opposite side. Never want to use the same side because there's different energies to our bodies. One side runs different than the other. So you use the opposite to do each breast. If it's somebody else, it's a little cleaner energy. If it's somebody you sleep with, what happens when we sleep together is our energies literally intertwine. So it's still going to be a step further than just your energy. And that's good. And then if you have somebody that is not somebody you sleep with, that's going to be the most effective. Your partner is a really great person to do this, by the way. I'm not saying you shouldn't. It's an easy thing. Your partner is going to be more likely to be able to understand that this is something you're doing for pain and to be able to help you in that matter. So what you're going to do is you're going to start on the outside and go around. And when you get to that little bump or that pain spot, you just hold it and feed it as much love as you can until the magnet goes away. And then you continue and you keep going in and going towards the center, just like you would, and don't be scared if you find a lump. Don't be scared if, oh, this is fibrous or, what that is it's stress in your body. All you got to do is give it some love and you'll feel it just dissipate. Now, sometimes, if you're not doing so great, this process can take quite a while. Which is why I recommend regular massages. You got a partner, have them do a lot. Just every night. It's for your health. But we all get busy, we forget, and we forget about ourselves. That's why self-care is such a big deal. It's not so much what you do, it's the fact that you're doing something for yourself. So you're going to keep going around. You're going to find all those little nodules. And you don't have to press hard. This isn't an issue of, press hard to make it hurt. You don't have to press hard at all. See, it's just a touch. Because if you've got a bubble in there, if you've got a little sore spot, it's going to hurt with just a little touch. And just keep going around. And if you can do this with yourself, or if you're working with somebody, talk about what's distressing you, what's being unreliable in your world. Okay. And this can be a place to vent those emotions. Might even create some problem solving. Sometimes, that's the best time to solve a problem. Sometimes you just need to relax. But when you get all done, you will find you are so much more relaxed. I tell you, when I've had treatments done like this, it's been like I go in and I'm like, oh, and I come out and I'm like, oh. It is like I just got a full body massage, because that's where my body holds stress. So that's what you do. You keep going around, and then you get to the done, and you kind of need to do like a little reset. Once you get everything, the breast, it's jiggly and it moves and there's no hard spots, that's a happy breast. We like happy breasts. So then you take the nipple and you just kind of shake it a little bit, and that's going to reset it. Now, if you have a partner, sometimes they get impatient. They want to help us. They want to help us. And at the same time, it's like, if they don't really get this, if they don't really know what they're doing, if you train them in this and say, hey, can we do this a couple times a week? Whatever your body needs, you got to listen to your body to see what it needs. But one of the simplest things to do sometimes, if it's really bad, is just have your partner suck on it. Now, he does not want to swallow that when he or she, when they get finished. Do not swallow the air. Blow the air out away from you. You do not want that stuff back on you. So you want to take care of them as well, so that they aren't going to be, you don't want that stuff going inside of them. You just want to get rid of it. Okay? So guys love me when I say that. They're like, wives come to me and they're like, my breasts hurt. And I said, I got a real simple solution. I said, here's homework for your husband, or your partner, whatever. But here's homework for them. And they're like, cool. Some guys are like, cool, I'm down with that. Now, really easy maintenance is just, 5-10 minutes every night. Just let them go play. Let them have fun. But that constant attention there will keep it so that you don't have to do the full thing. Now, unfortunately, many women who have a lot of sore breasts, their partners aren't doing this. So, I don't know. I don't know specifically everybody that's true. But if you were getting a lot of attention there, then they probably wouldn't be hard. And stress is such a big thing. Now, one of my friends that has recently come down with breast cancer, she's 80, and she has been a stress bucket for the last 8 years over politics. Sometimes I just can't even listen to her. She's like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you know what? Why give it that much power? Why give it that much power? There's been some other stuff in her life too that's been distressing her, but honestly, that's been huge. I don't care if you're red, you're blue, you're green. I don't care what color you vote. Hating somebody so much that it creates illness in your body, I don't think anybody wants to do. This could be a family member. It could be a coworker. Why give them that much power? You're not hurting them. The only person you're hurting is yourself. Do you want to go through chemo because you hate somebody so much? Is it worth that to you? They're not getting sick. They're not going through chemo. They're fine. It's not worth it. All right. So I have, another thing you can do. Lavender oil is a calming oil, and that's really great. So you don't need to do that on the technique I just taught you. But if you're doing the daily massage, daily attention, and the thing with the daily massage, just do what feels good. Doesn't have to be, you don't need a book, you don't need this. Just do what feels good. If you find a little nodule or something, give it love. Make sure you get underneath the armpit, get where that wire would hit. If you really need to wear the wire, make sure you do the massage. Make sure you massage that lymph node. Make sure you do your lymph massage. But using lavender oil will also calm all the nerves going on in there. And frankincense oil will help as well. So play with them, see which one you may like, one more than the other, but see what works for you. And the next thing we're going to do is, and this is just kind of a good practice in general, but we're going to fill our body with love. Now, I've worked on people with cancer, and what cancer in the body looks like is tar. Now, it also has to do with parasites in the body, has to do with when you get too many parasites, that leaves you open for cancer. But how energetically it looks in the body is like tar. Well, tar can't move, or it moves very slowly. So we got to get that sludge out of there. Doing these things I've taught you already will help tremendously. That's really where the lymph node happens. You got to keep those lymphs going. Got to keep those lymphs moving. And so what we want to do is one of the biggest thing our bodies need is love. And I told you, you feed the body unconditional love. That's how we heal, is with unconditional love. So what I want you to do is close your eyes, go into your heart. I want you to see the color for the heart is green. Green helps you deal with emotional change. Okay? Feel that green. You can pick your favorite shade of green. That's fine. And just breathe into that green. Feel it expand and get bigger and get bigger. And fill your body. And you can change it to white light or to gold light. Both are very healing, very pure. I want you to feel this light going through every vein, every cell of your body. Have it go out into your aura. That's about 2 to 3 feet from your body. And just feel that pulse, cleaning all the negative energy, all the negative thoughts, any negative energy you may have perceived coming at you, any negative thoughts you may have had, somebody tried to cut you off. Let all that stuff clean out of your body. And let that pulse a few times and just feel how pleasant it is to wash all that ick away, any grime, any dirt. And this is great if you do have some kind of illness, if you do have a pain somewhere, focus on where that pain is. We'll send the light there. And lots of love. It's not just sending light. You want to embody love and send that out, send that out, send that out, send that out. And let that just feel love. We get road rage. I'm in LA. People spend, an hour going back and each way, going back and forth to work. Some people, it's more. Somebody tries to cut you off, and you're like trying to get there, and I got to get to this meeting, and and look at you, you get all tense. Breathe in the love. Allow your body to relax. Because you know what? The truth is, when we're racing through traffic and we're cutting people off and do we really get there much sooner? Have you ever tried to beat the clock on your navigation? It says you're going to be there at such and such a time, and then, okay, I bet I can shave 5 minutes off it. I can shave 10 minutes off it. How much stress did that cost you to shave 5 minutes off of it? Maybe 10 minutes off of it. Could you do it? I've tried many times. Dang machine knows too much. It gets me lost sometimes. That's another story. But it does seem to have the time part pretty good. So when you find yourself getting all worked up and tight and tense, it's not good for your body. It's not good for your soul. It's not good for your mental health. Go into that green space. Find that light. Find that love. And breathe in that. And what's the phrase? We get more with sugar than we do with salt. If you come out, you let somebody in, guess what? Somebody's going to let you in somewhere else. I know. It's a little Pollyanna. But you know what? It's a much better approach to the world. I'm not saying you can't get mad at stuff that needs to be mad at. I'm not saying you shouldn't be proactive. Just let everything happen to you. Understand that your emotions are creating issues in your body. Hate hurts you more than it hurts the other person. I don't care what they did. I don't care who they are. It's not worth getting sick over. Come work with me. We'll get to the bottom of that hate and we'll absolve it. Not absolve it. I don't like that word. I never liked that word. Forgive has a really icky feeling, doesn't it? Forgiveness sounds like it doesn't matter. It was okay. You can wipe the slate clean. No, I don't believe in forgive and forget. You don't put yourself in harm again. You don't have to put yourself in harm again. You don't have to allow somebody to hurt you again. But there's other ways of dealing with all that emotion. And that's one of the things I do with my healing is we get down to the bottom of this. What is the emotion here that's causing this pain? And when did it happen? Who's it about? What's it about? Sometimes we need to know. Sometimes we don't need to know. Sometimes it's just maybe you were abused as a kid and you've blocked it out. Okay, but we got this word. We can let it go without you having to relive whatever it is you don't want to relive. It's not about reliving anything. It's about letting it out of the body so that it doesn't hold you back. And I've been down that road with hate. I had a lot of hate in me for a while. Had to lose my gallbladder because there was a lot of hate in me. You don't need to. Come and talk to me. I do healing sessions. I can do it virtually, on the phone, on Zoom. Deserve a healthy body. And part of having a healthy body is having healthy emotions. Both my friends, they come to me, Jeanette, what do I do? They get cancer. Now what do I do? Well, yeah, I've worked on people with cancer. Yes, I can. Yes, I have made people better with cancer. That's a big promise. And it's not one that, I'm going to say, oh yeah, I can fix this new piece of cake. There's work involved for both people. And you've got to be willing to let it go. And one friend, she's so tied up in politics, it's horrible. I feel bad for her. I really do. It's not going to change. Political situation that she's mad at is not going to change over the next 4 years. Because until somebody dies, it's still going to be there. She's still going to be wrapped up in all of this stuff. She's got herself so much in a tizzy, she can't even think straight. That's not going to change. She's not willing to give it up. She's not willing to not hate somebody. Well, maybe if he loses the election, maybe it will be over. I don't think so. But I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to last. But her hatred is so intense. It's not going anywhere. My other friend, I have reasons to suspect why. It's not going to change. She's not going to change it. She's not going to change why distressed and unreliable is going on in her life. Okay, so I can clear the emotions out, but you know what? They're going to come back and they're going to come back and they're going to come back in both cases because they're not willing to make the life changes. So they're going to go have surgery. That works for them. That's fine. It's not going to solve the problem. My one friend's 80. She's probably not going to live long enough for it to matter, for the cancer to come back. My other friend's a little bit younger than me. She doesn't fix what's going on. There's a good possibility of it coming back. So cancer comes back, not just because a lot of people, breast cancer comes back. There's a lot of reasons behind it, but one of the biggest reasons is they didn't address the real issue of why. I had an aunt that died from breast cancer, and she got it twice. The first time, she waited too long. She knew it. She had a big bulge on her breast. One breast was 2 cup sizes bigger than the other one. She was tiny as it was. She ended up with a double mastectomy. Then she got it again. And they ended up having to clear her lungs several times. And about the third time they had to clear her lungs, I said, this isn't going to get better. There's a lot of grief there. Grateful for what she didn't do, whatever, I didn't know as much then as I do now. I wasn't in a place I could help her. But she had a lot of hate in her. This is bad. This is bad. Mom loved you better than me. Da, 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 da. You talked to her for an hour. It's bitch, 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 bitch. Create stress in our body. Focus on the good things. Focus on the things that give you joy. There's, in the holistic world, and I can't remember the name right now, but there's this guy found out he had stage 4 cancer. He says, this isn't taking me. What did he do? He stopped everything the doctor said. He went home and he laughed. He watched all his favorite comedies. He didn't let anybody in his house feel sorry for him. Nobody could come in and say, oh my God, you're dying. Anybody that came into his house was there to support him, to make him laugh, to spread joy with him, and cured it. Stage 4 cancer. And what cured it was laughter. So the more you complain about things, our bodies hear it. Our bodies, it takes a toll. You want to be healthy. Think happy thoughts. Have happy breaths. Get massage every day. See, we do all these walks for cancer. You know what would do better? And I know it's opening up a whole can of worms, but they should have free breast massage. How many women would go sign up for free breast massage? Be a lot. Now, it would be public. It would be like, you're not getting any more than breast massage. How many guys would go laying up for breast massage? It has to be, you're only doing this. You're not doing anything else. It's just breast massage. But I tell you, I think there'd be big lines from both sexes. People wanting to get their breast massaged properly. Guys, loving to do that. Anyway, I don't get to, I'm not in charge of that charity, and there's response, I can see them. Oh, this guy, it opens them up for a lot of things, I guess. But if you get the right guys in there, get it, and know that this is to get rid of pain, and they're trying to do something healthy for somebody, and it's not a selfish act. If you have a partner, I'm not saying you can't have fun. Let them have fun. But this is really about keeping you healthy and happy, because if this is where we store all of our stress and there's no stress there, how much better is life for both of you? It's really amazing. So really look, what are you getting upset over? And I'm here to help. I don't want any of my friends calling me saying, Jeanette, I got breast cancer. Oh my God, why don't you call me before? Why don't you call me when your body hurts? Please. If your body hurts, please call me. There's so much we can do to keep it from hurting. If your heart hurts, please call me. Because you don't need to live through that. There's easier ways of dealing with it. There's easier ways of taking life on without pain. I don't always talk about my healing stuff. I'm very passionate about it, as you can see. We don't need to live life in pain. Now, some people, they do. They identify with their pain and they don't want to get better. That's how they get attention. So-and-so, fibromyalgia is a big one. Fibromyalgia. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't eat this. I can't eat that. I can't eat this. I can't eat that. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you have to do something special for me because I can't do this. Now, I'm not saying all illness. I mean, but you know those people who use their illness to get attention because they don't think they're going to get attention any other way, which is really sad. But that illness gets them attention. It doesn't need to be. Our bodies have such an incredible ability to heal if we understand what it's trying to say. You understand this map, and you can understand that when your body has a pain, it's trying to tell you something, and you can look it up and say, what is my body trying to tell me? What is my body's complaint? And you can release that. I'm just a facilitator here. Anybody can do what I do. I can teach you. You have to be able to give love, and you got to be able to understand the map. When you can do that, and you can let go of hate, of disappointment, of distress, of unreliable, when you're willing to stand up for your voice, for yourself, and say, these are my boundaries and you will not cross. I am worthy. I am special. I deserve to be loved, and I deserve to be healthy. You can heal. All right. Well, that was a lot today. I do offer healing services. You can reach me at, I have JeanetteHeals.com, but you can also reach me at thecolorwhisperer.com. I don't care. But if you're in pain, please, you don't need to be. And if you even think you have breast cancer, reach out. Let me show you more about all this stuff. We don't have to have these tight breasts that hurt. I don't want any more of my friends telling me they got breast cancer. And you guys are my friends. All right. On that note, very heavy day. We're talking about health. Let's get some Can-Do spice in there because we got to have healthy food in our bodies. It's so important. So, Mark, you got some Can-Do spice for me?
You know how people love to enjoy food and don't understand how to flavor their food or how to replicate a meal? They're interested in supplements but don't know where to begin? Well, what I do is I take the guesswork out of enjoying flavor and wellness with my flavorful spice blends so that they can create delicious meals with healing benefits. Can-Do Spice was created to help cooks at any level enjoy healing through food. Every spice blend was designed to give added health benefits of natural herbs. Every blend is complete. There's no need to add any additional spice for a delicious meal. Saving you time and money while adding supplements to your meals can be both tasty and fun. My earliest memories in the kitchen began with my father, Kenny Can-Do Bond, so it was fitting that I would name this line after him. I have always looked to natural remedies to supplement the body, and I found myself hiding herbs and minerals in foods for my family. That's when it hit me. Everyone needs Can-Do Spice. Everyone should be having this. It's an exclusive brand for cooks at any level who want to create flavorful dishes with healing benefits that can satisfy the body and soul. Add a little spice to your life. Give Can-Do Spice a try.